VLAN Trunking Protocol, VTP. This is a Cisco proprietary protocol, and this protocol operates on the trunk link. What it does, it replicates, advertises, distributes the VLAN database. You see, in a layer 2 network, we will have physical switches, many, depending on the size of the organization, the number of switches and the ports will be different, but there will be many switches. And the VLANs that we create on one switch, we expect it to be on all switches. For that, this protocol is used, because this protocol can distribute the VLANs to all switches, so that we need not to go to every switch creating VLANs. I hope you got what I said. This is not an industry standard protocol. This is a Cisco proprietary protocol. This concept, this feature, only in Cisco. When you have all the switches from Cisco, only then you can depend on this protocol to auto-configure the VLANs on every switch as you configure on one switch. You just configure manually VLANs on one switch. All the switches will get VLANs configured, because this protocol can distribute VLANs to all other switches. See, it makes our work easy. Instead of we going one switch after the other, creating the same VLAN, you can just enable this protocol so that as you configure on one switch, all the switches gets VLAN auto-configured. I hope you got the purpose of VTP. I hope you understood why we need VTP. It is to replicate VLANs. It is to distribute VLANs so that you no need to configure the VLANs on every switch. You just create on one switch, it gets created on all switches. If you want to delete on all switches, just delete on one switch, it gets deleted on all switches. Even the VLAN name, if you want to give a name, you just give it on one switch. Even the name gets distributed to all switches, not just the VLAN number. Even the name of the VLAN that you give will get distributed. Benefits you already know. It reduces the administrator's overhead, administrator's burden. Not only that, consistent VLAN database. Every switch will have same VLANs. So you no need to go to every switch to check whether all switches have got VLANs same or not. You just check in one switch, you will know what all other switches contain. You see, you create VLANs on one switch, it gets distributed to every switch. So there will be a consistent database. There will be identical VLAN database. It is easy for us to verify also. When I have 10 switches, for example, and if I need to know what all VLANs are on those 10 switches, I don't need to go to all 10 switches. Just go to one or two switches. And if the VLANs are identical, then you don't need to check the other switches. Say, for example, let's say you have switch connected one after the other. So here you got 8 switches. And they are serially connected like this. Now when I configure VLANs on this switch, VLAN 10, VLAN 20, VLAN 30, that gets copied, that gets replicated, that gets distributed to all switches. This copy and paste may take a long time, but VTP won't take this long to distribute. Very fast, they distribute the VLANs. I created here. I created here. But the replication is there on every switch. If I need to verify, I just go to this switch and check the VLANs and this switch. When it is same, then I know all other switches will also have the same VLANs. Identical VLAN database. Consistency in VLAN database is achieved through VTP. It's very easy, very good. And if you want to delete VLAN 20, I can delete here. Any switch, it gets deleted everywhere. Gets deleted everywhere. It just deleted in one switch, it gets deleted everywhere. I don't want VLAN 20. So I don't need to go to every single switch to delete, or I don't need to go to this switch where I created, not necessary. You can delete from anywhere. So these are all benefits of VTP. But this benefit sometimes becomes a dangerous feature. How? Because it can be deleted from anywhere. I say I created these VLANs here. I also said that very VLAN is deleted here, and everywhere it gets deleted. That's what I just said. But what if these switches are not in a place where someone can monitor? What if those VLANs, what if the switches are in an insecure area? Some bad guys can come and delete all VLANs. Let's say this is close to the common cafeteria in your office, the common cafeteria where the visitor and the employees meet. I'm not blaming visitor. Even the employees are sometimes doing bad things for their own company. So someone, accesses the switch because it's not in a secured area. deletes all this VLAN. What will happen? The entire office will be in single broadcast domain. When you delete all the VLANs, what will happen? All the ports will fall into VLAN 1, which is a default VLAN, and all the departments will become one big broadcast domain, one big layer 2 domain, one big broadcast domain, which is going to cause a chaos in the network. We created VLANs so that we can have some security, we can have some privacy, we can have some isolation of traffic from one VLAN member to the other VLAN member. We want to isolate, that is why we created VLANs, we put different department in different VLAN. That's a huge benefit in keeping multiple VLANs. Each VLAN is a single broadcast domain. Each VLAN is a virtual switch. Physically, though, you have 8 switches. When I have 3 VLANs, how many switches I have? 3 switches. Virtually, all VLAN 10 ports in all these 8 switches are under single broadcast domain. So virtually, we have these 3 switches. Based on these 3 virtual switches, VLAN 10 and 20 and 30, a lot of policies were written. But when someone logins to the to one of the switch and deletes all the VLAN gets deleted. Now all the policies which was written in these switches vanishes. When there is no VLANs, then there is no policy, which is a very big threat to an organization. It's a big threat. The chaos. You see, deleting all VLANs in one switch, deleting in every switch is a dangerous thing. The entire office, which was governed by the policies, which is binded to the VLANs, vanishes when the VLANs are removed. All the benefits of VLANs are gone. All those policies written on VLANs are gone. Means switches all becomes like a kind of fresh switch now, out of box experience, just like a fresh switch. Not good, very dangerous. So what VTP developers done is they gave a mode. There are 3 modes. One is server mode, the other one is client mode, the other one is transparent mode. Right? Server mode, client mode, and transparent mode. These 3 things they did. When a switch is in a client mode, no one got rights to delete or create or modify VLANs. What I'm trying to say is, VTP is good, but if someone deletes on one switch, it gets deleted everywhere. To prevent that, what I can do is, I can keep only this switch where I am sitting, which is under my eyesight, in a server mode. All the rest I can change it to client mode. When you make all other switches as client mode, they get the VLANs that you created on the server mode switch. All switches get those VLANs, all the clients. You may have another server also. Even the server also got the VLANs which we created here. We created here. It is reflected in all other switch, regardless of client or a server. But the clients won't allow to alter. You cannot delete a VLAN, you cannot rename a VLAN, you cannot create a VLAN. So this guy who is in the cafeteria trying to delete these VLANs to put you in trouble, if he tries to do that, it won't allow. Not possible. It won't allow when the switch is in a client mode. When the switch is in a client mode, it won't allow. Only a server mode switch is used to create, delete, modify VLANs. By default, all the switches will be in server mode. By default, all the switches were in server mode. But for security reason, you don't want all the switch to be in a server mode because someone will delete and create issues. So you have made these 6 switches as a client switch because these switches are not under the eyesight. They are not under surveillance. See the advantage of client mode here. Client mode will get the VLANs. Not only they get the VLAN that you created on the server, it not only gets it, it will also forwards it. This also gets it and forwards it, gets it, forwards it. They have no problem in distributing it. They don't have problem in distributing it, but they don't allow the user to create or delete or modify VLANs.